on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show. We just at about 7:09 a.m. this morning. And in our rundown this morning, we get the conversation started with Mr. Earland Kent, Permanent Secretary in the Central Administrative Services Tobago, fondly known to us as CAS, as we speak to the Republic Day Route and Awards. And he's the newly appointed PS there at CAS. The conversation continues this morning with Shelly-Ann John, and she's Manager Community Mediation Center, and that's the Division of Health, Wellness, and Social Protection. And we are speaking the International Day of Peace. And this morning we'll also be getting some insight with Isasha, recording artists out of Baby Torn Studios. And we're speaking about the Entertainment Central and Tobago music industry. And that's Isasha for Tobago Carnival 2023. So that's the lineup that we have happening there this morning in the rundown. All right, at this point, viewers, we prepare to head on into our very first interview this morning, and we're happy to have on set with us new Permanent Secretary there at CAS, the Central Administrative Services Tobago, Mr. Earland Kent. Good morning to you, sir, and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you.
We should probably start on a more familiar note, because I know as a real TNT and Tobago person, TKR, how you felt about last night?
Really excited, all right, and looking forward to the finals.
All right, most certainly celebrating the fact that we're heading across to the finals there on Sunday. But heading into the business at hand, very good to be able to meet you and for coming to join us on air this morning. After much time and a lot of focus being placed on this position in Tobago, we have a newly appointed Permanent Secretary. So I want you to get started by telling us just a little bit about the Central Administrative Services Tobago and its general responsibilities and where it fits in to the broader structure in terms of the government of Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay, well, let me first say that it's an acting appointment.
Okay.
All right, and the Central Administrative Services Tobago is really my birthplace, so to speak, in the public service. All right, when I joined on the 22nd of June 1989, I started at CAS and stayed there for quite a few years before moving over to the Tobago House of Assembly. So the Central Administrative Services in Tobago basically is responsible for administrative services under the central government, and most of those issues under Schedule 6 of the Tobago House of Assembly Act. And these administrative responsibilities are delivered to three main departments within CAS, all right? Because CAS basically is a division in the Office of the Prime Minister, all right? And the three areas, administrative areas, would be the Meteorological Services, General Administration, where the major part is the Sub-Treasury, and also the Registrar General's Department that is responsible for births, deaths, registration, accessing business, registering and accessing business documents here in Tobago through our companies section, all right? So we, in terms of meteorological services, we play a very major role here in Tobago. As a matter of fact, since my assumption here as acting PS, told that Tobago plays the leading role in Trinidad and Tobago because of our infrastructure here, probably a little more advanced than what exists in Trinidad. So in terms of weather forecasting and data for predicting weather and advising in terms of the weather and wind speed in terms of the landing and takeoff of aircrafts reside here in Tobago, and we do a very good job at that. Now we are at the stage where we are implementing automatic weather stations throughout Tobago, and we've already completed in Buku, Plymouth, in the Main Ridge. We've our most recent one completed over the last few days in Mason Hall, which will provide a more timely data in terms of weather predictions throughout the island of Tobago. And critical to that is an app that we would have embellished, right, in terms of providing data from Tobago that will also assist in terms of tourism, the tourist advisory, in terms of weather, in terms of areas to visit, what the weather would be like in those areas and that sort of thing. So we are moving full speed with regards that.
Excellent. All right. So at this point, we're heading on into one of the focus areas that takes place upcoming for that falls under CAS, which is also under the Minister with Responsibilities, Minister Ayana Webster Roy, and that's the Republic Day Route March. So I want you to start off by telling us a little bit about what time will this be happening, what route are we looking at for this year, and the general significance of this route march, which has been taking place over the years.
Okay. Well, this route march is something that dates way back, all right? Because I remember as a child in Roxborough looking forward to the opportunity, because my father didn't have a car. So it was hardly likely that I will be in Scarborough for the Independence March. So we looked forward to the route march in Roxborough. And it will be happening this year again on Sunday, 24th, which is the commemorative day for Trinidad and Tobago attaining Republican status. And as we all know, we gained Republican status on the 1st of August 1976. However, the Republic Day is celebrated on the 24th of September because that was the first day that the new Republican Parliament met in Trinidad and Tobago. So that was declared the commemorative day for Republic Day in Trinidad and Tobago. The route march starts at 9 a.m. from Lamy Road in Argyle, Kendall, and will proceed through the streets of Argyle into Roxborough, right up to Prince Street, and then we'll go back down to the Sid Gray complex where the parade will end. All right. We have quite a lot of battalions taking part in terms of the fire service, the defense force, police service, the Boys Brigade, Pentecostal Crusaders, Adventists,
So a number
marchers,
yes.
a number of participants. As a matter of fact, I think we're looking at over 500 marchers will be on display.
Right. So in terms of the contingents taking place, and that's from 9 a.m. On Sunday morning. And now it is also our information that there will continue to be the recognition. So tell us a little bit about the award ceremony and, just a few of the categories in terms of recognizing some of the outstanding persons here in Tobago.
All right. So in terms of the awards, this is an initiative of the Honorable Minister, Ayana Webster Roy, who thought that it was an opportunity where outstanding residents in Tobago East can be recognized for their contribution to the development of Eastern Tobago and the Tobago at large. So this year, the award categories will be for the most impactful youth organization, and it looks at identifying a youth organization that would have contributed to the development and impacted the lives of communities across the East. Then we have the most impactful NGO, CBO, or FBO. All right? NGO, community-based organization, or faith-based organization that would have created some kind of impact through their work in the communities as well. The Entrepreneur of the Year, where she's trying to identify and highlight an entrepreneur who would have excelled in their field of endeavor, and through this hopefully will provide motivation to other entrepreneurs or budding entrepreneurs to do likewise and be recognized. There is also the Minister's Spirit Award, all right, where she tries to identify persons in the area of gallantry or doing some selfless deed in terms of assisting a citizen or the development of Tobago East or something in that vein. So those are the categories that will be recognized or would be awarded
All
on
right.
Sunday.
Excellent. So 4 main categories there, folks, in case you missed it. It's the Most Impactful Youth Organization Award, Most Impactful NGO, CBO, and FBO, that's faith, non-governmental organization, community-based organization, or faith-based organization award, the Entrepreneur of the Year Award, and the Minister's Spirit Award, certainly recognizing outstanding Tobagonians, outstanding persons coming out of Tobago East. And as I mentioned that, I want you to give some clarity, PS, in relation to, I know the awards seek to recognize, and that's after the route march, persons coming out of Tobago East. But the celebrations itself coming out to see the march is open for all of Tobago? Coming out on Sunday, just as persons would come out for Independence Day?
Yes, and in fact, what I can speak of that because I'm living in Roxborough, and what you see on that day is not just a reflection of Tobago East. People travel from throughout the length and breadth of Tobago to come into Roxborough because it's like a day of celebration in Roxborough. All right, so from the route march into the awards ceremony, then following up there is the regatta on the jetty in Roxborough, and following the regatta there is the cultural show put on by the Tobago House of Assembly in the evening, early evening, and followed by the fireworks.
Yes.
All right, and I can tell you, if you don't get in early, it will be trouble to see the fireworks and all of that.
Viewers, what the PS forgot to mention, there's always a house you can visit in Roxborough as well. Somewhere up there, you must know somebody up on that side, and families tend to welcome you and so on. So it's really something to look forward to in terms of the full lineup for the day that takes place in Roxborough. Any other key areas you would want to cover, PS, before we wrap this morning's interview in highlighting and reminding persons about coming out on Sunday?
Right, just to say that of course, we at CAS, we are really hoping that the people will come out to enjoy what we are putting forward for you, as well as in collaboration with the Tobago House of Assembly, the evening. So let's come to Roxborough, have an enjoyable day. All right, and as Mr. Skeete hinted, it is the unofficial harvest in the Renaissance in Roxborough. So trust me, you will be able to find some place, some house where you can get something to imbibe as well as refresh yourself by eating.
All right. If I were to call out a name, I head up there in the police service. Good morning, Mr. Hazel. Good morning to you. Certainly, therefore, folks, so you can look forward to the route march that takes place on Sunday, and that is Republic Day celebrations, and that's courtesy. This is hosted by CAS, the Central Administrative Services Tobago, out of the Office of the Prime Minister, led at this point by Minister Webster Roy, PS, Earland Kent, and the entire team. And we look forward to that happening on Sunday from 9 a.m. The march takes place. It begins at Lamy Road and continues through the streets of Roxborough up to Prince Street and dismisses at the Sid Gray Sporting Complex. And as I mentioned before, all are welcome certainly to come out and to celebrate. We want to thank you very much, Acting Permanent Secretary in CAS, out of the Office of the Prime Minister, for joining us here on set this morning. And I'm sure viewers are saying it's good to put a face to the name with the position here in Tobago, continuing to take on that critical responsibility. And once again, viewers, we want to thank you very much for joining us, and as well to remind you that this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.